for service. And he called out to the main three people who were responsible for managing this yatra there, this festival there. So this is very important, right? That Lord is begging for the permission for the service. He's asking for the service. Purport: the Gundicha temple is situated 2 miles northeast of the Jagannath temple. So there is a picture of the Gundicha temple on the right. At the same time of the Rath Yatra festival, Lord Jagannath goes to the Gundicha temple from his original temple and he stays there for 1 week. After 1 week, he returns to his original temple. It is understood by hearsay that the wife of Indradyumna, the king who established the Jagannath temple, was known as Gundicha. There is also mention of the name of the Gundicha temple in authoritative scripture. The area of the Gundicha temple is estimated to be 288 cubits by 215 cubits. A cubit is about 1.5 foot. The main temple inside is about 36 cubits by 30 cubits. And the Kirtana hall is 32 cubits by 30 cubits. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining, the whereabouts and the structure of this Gundicha temple. Okay. So we will particularly focus on Gundicha Marjan Leela that happens a day before Rath Yatra. We'll understand this particular pastime. Now, before we get into this, let me move to a couple of more slides. The observance of Gundicha Marjan, the washing and cleansing of the Gundicha temple, takes place on the day before Rath Yatra in preparation for the arrival of the Lord. Because Lord is coming from main temple with his whole entourage to the Gundicha temple. The history goes back to thousands of years back, but the specific significance we should understand. Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki jai, Lord Prabhupada ki jai. So the specific significance of this Rath Yatra, this festival of chariot and the cleaning of Gundicha temple was shown by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was residing in Jagannath Puri. So when we talk about any festival, or even when we come to a temple, right, or practice any spiritual practices, why do we do that? To invoke the presence of the Lord within ourselves, in our heart. But in our heart, Lord is already present. We all know, as a super soul, Krishna is already there, right? But it is covered with many layers. Layers of what? Conditioning, impurities, all the narthas that we have developed when we are in this body, in this material world. For example, lust, greed, anger, we all suffer through these conditioning, right? So we are not able to access Lord, who is already sitting in our heart. So to access that love, that presence of Lord, we need some external stimuli, some external factors. That's why it's very important that we visit temples regularly. Hear Krishna Katha. We eat prasadam. We come in association of devotees. These are external stimuli. And perform various services. Because these services, and then when we chant, this cleanses our heart. It helps in removing these impurities in our heart. And then what happens when we start engaging our mind, body, intelligence in all these activities? Lord becomes the center of all our activities. And then when Lord becomes center of all our activities, slowly and slowly, automatically, our heart start becoming temple itself, a moving temple. Now, easier said than done, right? So it's a process. It takes a while. But doesn't mean that we give up. We have to keep trying. And once we get the process, and especially by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the way he has packaged the whole process, really not difficult. Now, I'm also struggling through the same, trial and effort. But what can motivate us is, if we look around us, with every sunrise and sunset, what is happening? Time is moving. Our life is just getting over. Before we even realize, we are 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years old. Hmm? And then some interest in spirituality comes. We get very enthusiastic. And then again, it becomes a ritual. By the time we realize, let's say somebody starts at 35, it's already 45 years. 10 years, what did I have done? Last 10 years. But good news is that whatever might have done in the service of Krishna, consciously or unconsciously, Krishna accepts that service. And any charity or donation is just not money. Anything that is given in the form of our efforts, our service, money, it could be our time, our body, our mind. Logically also forget about Krishna consciousness or devotion. We all know why do people make charity, because they know it's a good deed and some higher power gives us more back when we do charity, right? But what to speak of Krishna consciousness or devotional activity when we start making these charities, these donation of our effort, time, mind, body, money in the service of Krishna, because devotional activities are non-perishable, it's eternal. The rewards are eternal, unlimited. So when we remind ourselves of these spiritual facts, hopefully it uplifts us and motivates us to keep going, right? And especially if we have good association of devotees. And Srila Prabhupada said, this training must start as soon as possible. The kids are here, very fortunate kids. Our Sunday school kids, very early they started. Like, we all must have realized who came little late in Krishna consciousness or devotion, real devotion, that, oh, what could I have done if I was 15 years back, in the temple? So these kids are really fortunate. So that fire in these kids should be maintained. Okay. And there is Srila Prabhupada have written about how he used to how his father encouraged him to start. I mean, he was himself encouraged to celebrate this festival of chariots, Rath Yatra, and how his father supported him and gave him the conducive environment. So it is the duty of every parent to give this spiritual environment to their kids. Otherwise, Srila Prabhupada says, I received this training from the very beginning. And he says in the last paragraph, every parent should think like that. Otherwise, one should not become father and mother. That is the primary duty of any parent. Of course, we have to maintain the kids and family, but the primary duty is to make sure they are spiritually nourished also. And if due to past pious activities, one gets a good father and mother, that is a great chance for advancing in Krishna consciousness. I am very much indebted to my father, and I have dedicated my book, Krishna book, to him. And as a father, as a spiritual father, we all have got Srila Prabhupada. So we are all very fortunate that we are in this process. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also sings about this, how to make this temple, this heart of a temple. Everyone remembers this bhajan? Mamman Mandire. We will not sing the whole bhajan, we don't have time. But Mamman Mandire, what is next? Raho Nishid in Krishna Murari, Krishna Murari. What he says? He says 4 things, which also is being mentioned by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Man manabhav mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskaru. It's the same mood Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is expressing in that bhajan. There are 4 things we have to do. Engage our mind always in thinking of Krishna. Krishna himself is giving us this instruction. Become his devotee. Offer obeisances to him and worship him. These 4 things. One who will do these all 4 things, Krishna gives the guarantee. He says, he promises in Bhagavad Gita, you will surely come to me. Okay? So it's very important that whatever devotional practices, spiritual practices we are offering, it should be done consciously, with full heart. So Lord Jagannath is coming. When is he coming here? 8th July, Saturday. Hari Bol. So, Lord of the whole universe is coming. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned in one of his lecture about Jagannath, the meaning of Jagannath, or Jagat. The word Jagat comes in Jagannath, right? Gacchati iti Jagat, which is moving. Gacchati means moving. Gacchati is a Sanskrit word. So Jagat, whatever is moving is called as Jagat, the universe. But the problem is, Jagat is moving in the wrong direction, or we are moving in the wrong direction in this Jagat. The right way to say is in general. So when Jagannath comes and we move towards him, we start moving in the right direction. So when we start moving towards Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, then we start moving in the right direction, because then moving in the direction of the Jagannath means moving in the direction where we are taking the instructions from the Lord and doing his service. So just like when, let's say, it happens that president of the country is coming to our home, or in our area, not even our home, the area, or somebody we love, could be a relative or friend, they're coming in our home. How excited we will be, right? Similarly, when Lord of the universe is coming, he's the Lord of the whole creation, just not president of a country or just not somebody very important, right? Then what happens? Then we start talking about that person, how he is coming, or next 1 month he will come, or we spread the news in our neighbor, somehow we want to talk about it when somebody we love is coming to our home, right? We start making plans. We start thinking about what we will cook, what we will do, how we will clean the house. Everything we start very enthusiasm, right? A lot of enthusiasm. Similarly, just 4 weeks are left. There should be a lot of enthusiasm. The Lord of the universe is coming. And we are going to get a chance to serve the Lord. A proper mood and understanding is required. Why? Because otherwise it will just become a ritualistic festival or ritualistic activity. So that's what we will try to discuss more here. So just quickly again, in the transcendental mind of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the temple of Lord Jagannath is in Nilachal, represented Dwarka and sometimes Kurukshetra. So this temple of Jagannath Puri, where the Lord Jagannath resides with Lord Balram and Subhadra Devi, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says it is Dwarka. And then when Rath Yatra is coming from that Dwarka, the temple, towards Gundicha temple, that is Vrindavan. So it's the same mood that happened 5,000 years back when gopis and the Vrajvasis were carrying Shri Jagannath, Shri Krishna, Shri Balram and Subhadra Devi from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So there is a beautiful book by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Gauranga. We'll just read through this wonderful, wonderful explanation of this Gundicha temple, cleaning the Gundicha temple here. So now our understanding should be the temple, temple of Jagannath Puri is Dwarka, and Lord is coming to Gundicha temple, which is Vrindavan. The day before the Rath Yatra, there is another very special festival, the cleansing of Gundicha temple. This is considered a very important pastime in Chaitanya Leela for many reasons. Jagannath lives in Jagannath temple, and Rath Yatra means that he goes to the Gundicha temple. This Gundicha temple, Vrindavan, basically vacant the whole year. Then for 9 days a year, Jagannath goes and he stays there. So Jagannath comes in the Rath Yatra, he stays there for 9 days and goes back. The temple has existed for thousands of years, just like Jagannath Puri temple, and it is made of granite stones. Beautiful temple. Anyone has gone there, Jagannath Puri? Haribo. In granite, the cracks are quite big, and there is nothing in between. so it can collect the dust and dirt. In South India, they put molten lead or molten lead in the cracks, but they don't seem to do the same thing in Puri. So every year, Lord Chaitanya would go with his associates and they would clean this temple as their personal service. Okay? I'm skipping through some slides here. So in the beginning stages of our spiritual life, our prime goal should be to actually have Krishna fixed up in our heart, and to do that, we have to cleanse our consciousness as much as possible. We all know that, right? We have to clean our consciousness. Cleaning the Gundicha temple represents cleaning our hearts so that Krishna will be pleased to reside there. Marjan means, this is a pastime of Gundicha Marjan. Marjan means cleaning. As we also sing in the Guru Ashtakam, Mandir Marjanado. So we can probably sing it quickly. Is it visible? Very small. Very small, right? But I think most of the devotees have by-hearted this, so we all can sing together. Shri Vigraha Radhana Nityanana Shringaratan Mandira Marjanado Yuktasya Bhaktamsha Niyunchatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. Anyone knows? Who is cleaning the temple here? His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj in temple, Ujjain temple. He himself used to clean. They used to celebrate Rath Yatra there, and a day before, they used to have the similar service. On the actual day of Gundicha, so let's go to, on the actual day of Gundicha, when everybody was assembled there for cleaning, Lord Chaitanya took sandalwood pulp and put it on the foreheads and bodies of all his associates. This also shows how personal and merciful Lord Chaitanya is, giving sandalwood pulp with his own hand. Then everyone was given a broom, and they started marching towards the Gundicha temple. Now this pastime is mentioned in so much detail in Chaitanya Charitamrita, more than 200 verses are mentioned. And when we read through those verses, we will see how detailed cleaning is being done from each and every corner of the temple. Twice, thrice, then they are putting the water and cleaning it. Now one may think, what is there, special about it? It's cleaning. But when we read through and hear from our acharyas, each of those verses, those description is how to clean our consciousness. How Lord is indicating we should clean our mind and heart. So here, Lord Chaitanya, before letting devotees start cleaning, he's putting tilak and sandalwood, pulp. Meaning is, whenever we start service, it could be coming to temple, it could be any service, we should be in proper attire. Even if it is a cleaning service, it's not like we wear the old clothes, they will get dirty anyway, right? No, we should be in our best Vaishnava attire for any service. So I will highly request all devotees to consider this expression from Lord, that when we come to temple and perform any service, we should be in our Vaishnava attire, proper tilak at least, and dhoti kurta, sarees for Matajis. It will be very nice. Lord will be very pleased. Then everyone was given a broom and they started marching towards the Gundicha temple in proper dress, tip-top, nicely dressed. All the devotees they have brooms in their hand and they are going to the temple. Then they all together gathered the piles of dust, sand and straws, and Lord Chaitanya said, let's have a competition. I will tell you how much you have worked by how much dirt you have been able to collect and bring outside. So he says, let's see who collects the most dirt. Meaning, let's see who cleanses his heart most. Everyone had their own pile, and they were having a competition who could make the biggest pile. Lord Chaitanya himself was working so furiously cleaning that his pile was the biggest pile. Everyone was just taking out maybe a handful or something, but Lord Chaitanya's pile was becoming bigger and bigger. When everything was swept clean, then the next stage was another sweeping. The first sweeping was to remove the big dust and straws and things. Then they swept again to get out the fine sand and fine dust. Then, after finishing the second time sweeping, for the third cleaning, they brought water pots. Now, I was reading through this, how to understand this. And then we can see how much planning, that how they will clean the bigger, bigger items first. Then they will go to the smaller dust things. And then they will put water. So it was perfectly structured, not random. So a lot of planning and structure was going through. So meditation was going through of the service. They took buckets and huge clay pots filled with water and thoroughly washed the entire Gundicha temple. Finally, even though it looked completely spotless, Lord Chaitanya went inside and he again started picking the things he could find in the corners. In great jubilation of love, they were cleaning, and at the same time, they were chanting. What they were chanting? Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Names of the Lord. That's why Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us this wonderful verse, the first verse of Sikshashtakam. What it says? Cheto darpan marjanam bhav mahadavagni nirvapanam shreya kairava chandrika vitranam vidya vadu jivanam anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipadam purnamrit aswadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijite Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Now this verse can take a whole week for somebody who knows, understands and realizes this verse. Right? My realization is just I can read and I can read the translation. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. That's the reason they were not talking about how are you, what did you eat today, what did you wear today, or any gossips. They were talking about only Krishna during service. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. In great jubilation, they were cleaning, and at the same time, they were chanting the name of Krishna. One person begged for the water pot by chanting the holy name, Krishna, Krishna. So if they are asking for something, some help, Krishna, Krishna, indicating and then taking that water pots. Just like in devotee community, sometimes we address to each other by, or shout, Hari Bol, nothing else. So Krishna, Krishna, and another delivered the pot. He understood what this devotee wanted. So perfect synergy was going on, cooperation between devotees. They were helping each other. So the whole vocabulary there was Krishna, Krishna. We all can say, Krishna, 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 Krishna. Nobody was speaking anything else. They were all simply chanting Krishna, Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya was also chanting Krishna, Krishna. This also gives us a good clue how we should clean the pots or clean the floor, how we should do cleaning duties or any duties we have by singing the holy names of the Krishna. So that is another very important thing. Whenever we are performing any service, we should keep on chanting Krishna. So we have beautiful Mahamantra for us. We can play it or we can sing together when we are serving. I'm skipping a few paragraphs in the interest of the time. While Lord Chaitanya was cleaning, he was also encouraging others. You are doing very well. Very important part of the service. We should appreciate others whatever service they are doing. And if you see the whole pastime, Lord Chaitanya was appreciating who was doing good job, and he used to go to the people or devotees who were like me, cutting the corners. And he used to say, "Oh, nice service. Can you teach that person how you are doing it?" That his style of telling him, better you do it better because you are going to teach to others, right? So in that way. But in general, all the devotees were doing very good job, so he was encouraging them. Good job, you are doing very well. So Lord Chaitanya was showing in this way how to encourage devotees. This is a very, very important part. We should not be envious of anyone who is doing better than us. We should always encourage and support and learn from that devotee. If somebody is doing well, we should point it out. The beautiful Maharaj is written beautifully, this whole pastime. Then after everything was done, Lord Chaitanya said that whoever had collected less than the others had to pay a fine. What fine? Fine of sweet cakes and sweet rice. So he was joking around. Srila Prabhupada said, when we cleanse the temple, so I think I have a slide for that also, that when we clean the temple, we are actually cleaning our hearts. There is so much residual dirt in our heart from millions of births, unlimited millions of births in this material world. This is why we have so much dirt, because we have taken so many births, millions and billions of times, uncountable times. And because of the conditioning, because of the three material modes, we have developed so much dirt in our heart. But when we clean the temple, we actually clean the dirt from our hearts, provided we are in that consciousness. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote a very long purport in this pastime. Krishna is in our heart, but we do not see Krishna because we are covered over. We need to make our heart clean, and Krishna will reside there. Even doing severe austerities is not so good for devotion service. Those are considered unclean and make one unfit to realize Krishna. These things have to be cleared away. So each phase of the cleaning the temple, like we see in the description of this pastime, it represents the phase of clearing gross desires. And then comes the subtle desires, subtle, anarthas. What are those? Any example of those subtle anarthas? Yeah, that I will do service so nicely because I want to get recognized. Others should learn from me. Yes, bro. Envy? Yes. Finding fault in other service? Unless we have authority, we should not find any faults. And then there is pratishtha, the name, the desire for fame and position. Then enviousness. Maharaj is mentioning all that. Right? Against enviousness against other living entities. Breaking different kinds of regulatory principles. Desire for popularity, worship, and material gain. Basically, the branches and twigs, the big items that devotees were cleaning, these are like the breaking of the regulatory principles. Right? Various misbehaviors on the gross physical platform. So we have 4 regulatory principles that we should, that is given to us by Srila Prabhupada. So these branches and twigs represent those. When we break those principles, they are big offenses. Then behaving properly with devotees and following all the etiquette is the next stage. These are all common sense things, but we sometimes tend to forget about this. We have to behave properly with devotees. and there has to be etiquette. Even in our subtle thoughts, in our mentality, we should be completely cleansed and direct our thoughts to Krishna. How can we do that? When we keep ourselves aware of the fact that everything we are doing is for whom? We are not coming to temple for somebody, some person. We are coming for Krishna. Any service we are doing it for, not for the temple president, not for other devotees, but to clean our heart so that we can serve Lord better. Krishna is in our heart as the super soul. So if we want Krishna, we should invite him to be present there in his original form as Shyam Sundar. To prepare the ground, to prepare the heart to receive the Lord, we must take this cleaning very seriously. And then Krishna can reside there. Then what happens? Right next to the Gundicha temple, the temple building we saw in the picture, there is a beautiful temple of Narsingadev, and there was regular kirtan there after this temple cleaning. So I will highly advise everyone to read this pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 12. Wonderful, wonderful description. You will really, just by reading, we will relish it, even if we don't go into the understanding of that. Beautiful verses. So after the whole cleaning is done, everyone, including Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, goes to the Narsingha temple nearby, and they do kirtan there. And then what happens? What do we do? Devotees do after cleaning all the services, the best they do. Right? The best they do is prasadam. So after kirtan at the Narsingha temple, all the devotees sat down and had prasadam. While they were eating, still they were all chanting. Not that, oh, done service for the day, I chanted everything, now let's gossip. No, they were still taking the names of Krishna. Whenever they would get breath while eating, they would chant Hare Krishna. Right? Of course, when I'm eating, I cannot really speak, but each breathing, they will chant Hare Krishna. So His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj says, so Lord Chaitanya's pastimes were heavy kirtan, heavy prasadam, and heavy service. What is that? Heavy kirtan, heavy prasadam, and heavy service, all three. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who is the composer of this wonderful literature, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he said that by seeing or hearing these pastimes, even sinful men can awaken their Krishna consciousness. Just by hearing this pastime of the Lord. One can awaken their Krishna consciousness. They are so sweet. So I will stop here. It's almost 6 o'clock. There are unlimited instructions. One slide I would definitely like to go through quickly is, as a recap, cleaning is only effective when done with the mercy of Shri Krishna, Shri Guru and Vaishnavas. So the point here is, whatever service we are able to do, we should never think that it is by our potency, strength in our body or our, mood. It is only by mercy of Shri Krishna, Shri Guru and devotees that one gets the service. If that mercy is not there, somehow the situation will become for us that we will start going away from the service, or service will not be available for us. Either it can happen in any number of ways. We can start arguing ourselves, or we can start self-justifying what it doesn't matter, right? That those are all just material senses. But if service is not coming to us, or if service is not available, then the mercy is not yet there. While cleaning, chanting of the holy name is very much required. Only broom and water pot is not sufficient. Otherwise, it will be just external cleaning. But what we have to make sure is, we should be very greedy in the spiritual sense. That if I'm coming to temple, or if I'm following any spiritual practice, why not to make the best use of it, right? So just become conscious. As soon as we enter the compound of the temple, I'm entering into Vrindavan. I'm going to serve the Lord directly. I'm going to serve the devotees directly. We can train ourselves, right? One should always take guidance of other devotees to make sure cleaning is done properly. No service should be done just because I want to do it, in a way I want to do it. At every step, guidance should be there. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows that in this pastime. Some of the dirt is very apparent and can be removed by primary cleaning, but some of the dirt needs cleaning from each and every corner. So in general, dirt can be gross, but what we are cleaning from each and corner of the temple is meaning subtle anarthas, subtle issues in our heart. We need to have someone in our life who can lovingly work with us by chanting the holy name and discuss Sri Krishna's pastimes to help eradicate those impurities in our heart. So who can lovingly guide us, who can help us in chanting, who can help us in serving. We need somebody in our life, some mentor, spiritual master. This cleaning is not a one-time process, not a once-a-year process. It has to be done continuously. And how can we do it continuously? Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And by daily hearing and reading the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna, Lord Chaitanya. Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And lastly, never lose hope as we are cleaning. These anarthas are sitting in our heart for many years. What Krishna sees is our sincere desire. We should not cut the corners. If we still think there's a lot of impurities inside our heart, we are not making that much progress, we should not be disheartened. Krishna will see our sincere desire, sincere effort and help us. So, let us endeavor to bring Shri Krishna into our heart by serving this festival very nicely, and in general also every day, every week when we come to temple. So Rath Yatra, the actual Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri is on June 20th, and in our Harrisburg it is on July 8th. So let's endeavor, let's try our best to clean our hearts along with serving the Lord together. Shri Gundicha Marjan ki jai. With that, I will stop here. Any additions, any corrections, or any questions we can discuss for a few minutes. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, actually I didn't have a question, but just one point that I really liked. So firstly, the whole pastime was very, very sweet.
It is all mercy of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Maharaj. Swami Maharaj.
So firstly, it was very sweet, but one point that really stuck with me was, you mentioned that excessive austerity also makes us unclean, and like excessive austerity is also not encouraged. Like, we have to do the austerity like, fasting on Ekadashi or the other that are mentioned in the scriptures, but just trying to do all by ourselves, excessive, also makes us unclean. So I really like that point.
Yeah, very important point you caught, because austerity is required, right, in devotional life. But excessive austerity or tapasya is not encouraged in the path of devotion, because that loses the whole purpose of bhakti, loving service, right? Because if we are doing too much austerity, our mind and body will not be fit for service to the Lord, right? Srila Prabhupada never encouraged that. Thank you, Prabhu. Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Such a nice class. Thank you so much. Very opportune for the upcoming festival. Just wanted to share something, piggybacking on Jitnetra's point. I was remembering Balabhadra Prabhu's point in he made this point a few times in his Bhagavatam classes. He said that when he first joined Krishna consciousness back in Atlanta, he wanted to do austerity, and he says, I have to really do some severe austerity to get the Lord's attention. So, and it was winter time in Atlanta, so he said he went out on the porch and he stood outside on the cold on the cement floor and chanting the holy name. And he was very cold and austere at that time. And his temple president, I think he said it was Balavanta Prabhu, and he said, what are you doing? And he says, I'm trying to catch the attention of the Lord by taking some austerity. He says, you idiot, is what he said. He said, it's already austere to chant the holy name. Why do you want to add more and give yourself more misery? So I was really remembering that meaning of excessive austerity, that we have to be careful not to get so whimsical in the excessive austerity. So thank you for bringing that up, Prabhu. That was a nice point.
Thank you.
How we don't take it overboard. I have a question to Prabhu, and I really like the theme of the class, Temple of the Heart, and you mentioned some really amazing points. In this day and age, and everything is, after COVID, everything is automated, Zoom, and I think COVID has made people in general think that coming out and meeting in person is such an austerity, But at the same time, we need that connection. So how can we protect the temple of our heart from becoming lazy?
Yeah, Mataji. So I think to put it straight, COVID and things like that have made us lazy in general, right? So, but again, we have to come back to the teachings of our acharyas. Like I think we were discussing in one of the morning class about being lazy intelligent, right? So what does lazy intelligent means? So for a lot of devotees that I know, it became a biggest opportunity in their life to come back to Krishna consciousness, because they were so much active in their, they become so much active in their, even after coming to Krishna consciousness, they became so much active in their material life, in their jobs, family lives, that they had hardly any time for spiritual life. But for them, unfortunately, we know COVID has its negative effects so much. But for many of them, it became a great opportunity to come back to or start reviving their Krishna consciousness. More time for chanting, because either no work or working from home, right? And not going to movie theater, public places, right? So much time you save. So it became a great opportunity. So again, it comes down to desire. What is our desire? Have we realized the importance of time? So lazy intelligent means, Srila Prabhupada says, that being lazy in the material activities, but very active in the spiritual activities, right? So again, what is my right desire? It all comes down to that, right? What is my association? With what kind of people I'm associating with? That will give us the enthusiasm. To be honest, I have no other answer than, if the desire is not there, hardly you can or I can do anything about it. So I hope that answers your question. Maybe if Rachitra would like to add a little more to that.
Yeah, you can add if you want. You want to
Hare Krishna. I also want to piggyback the same sentiment, a very nice class. We have to understand something, all of us, that where we're staying now is not home. And no matter what those who are trying to put out different products and technology tell us that life will be more convenient for us, this is not home. If it was going to be convenient for us, we would have stopped getting sick a long time ago. We would have stopped getting old a long time ago. All the funeral arrangements would have stopped a long time ago. So the next 7G, 8G, 10G cell phone is not going to stop death from coming. Sometimes we have to just hit ourselves with that reality. So then when we come to Krishna, that's the only way that death is stopped, going back to the spiritual world. So Lord Chaitanya is giving us so much mercy by coming and he himself demonstrating, as Prabhu was saying, dear Krishna Prabhu, when we clean the temple, when we do any devotional service, we are actually getting rid of so much dust that's been in the heart for a long time. Why? Because when the Lord resides in our heart, that is our ticket back to Godhead. Nothing in this material world is going to make us really happy. And if we think we are happy doing material things, then we are suffering one of the 4 defects that's called being in illusion. It really, really, really doesn't work. You get older and you look back at the times you spent, the younger times and all of that. You look back and you go, this is the best thing that I've ever come across, Krishna consciousness. Let me take advantage of it while I still have time. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for adding or bringing back to the core problem, right? Why we have to be in the devotional life. Also, to add to it, Mataji, you mentioned about Zoom and those kind of things. Devotees are very active nowadays in that. The problem is, I was reading a very nice article by a very advanced devotee, and he wrote about all these technologies that is in practice, right? So they can be supportive of the process, and he mentioned a very nice point that then tomorrow somebody will say, I can worship or serve Lord, virtually, right? That's not the goal. That's not understanding, right? How can one serve without making it practical? Like we all know right now we are going through training process, right, to serve Krishna, to Lord. So that is not possible. No matter, it could be the greatest classes on the Zoom, but until one comes together and practically do the service, I don't think, because we have to engage our, just not mind, or it has to be body also, intelligence also, everything, right? Unless we come together, it's not possible. Otherwise, why would the companies would be calling back their employees? Job just went fine. I mean, I'm still complaining why you are calling me back, because I worked fine for 2 years remotely. No, but they know there is a difference, big difference while working, remotely or on the job. So it's not practical. Yeah, and we missed the prasadam, the biggest thing, right? Come. Online, yeah. No, it's a very. Yeah, that devotee really wrote a 5-page. Yeah, he wrote a 5-page article just on this issue, and he himself gives very wonderful classes on the Zoom, virtually. But he said it can be only supportive. It cannot be the real thing, right? Just like we are reading a lecture on the audio or reading at home, that can be supportive, but that's just not it. We have to, be practical. So, yeah. Any other comments? Any questions? Thank you for that question. Okay, if nothing else, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for this service. Hare Krishna. So next part we'll do Guru Puja. Thank you.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bando Muji Savadana Mate Bando Muji Savadana Mate Yahara Pradeva Ibavatu Yajai Yahara Pradeva Ibavatu Yajai Krishna Prapti Ho Jaha Hoti Krishna Prapti Ho Jaha Hoti Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya Arana Kuri Homani Acha Arana Kuri Homani Acha Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utama Gati Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Prasade Pore Sama Asha Chakodan Diloje Janme Janme Prabhu Se Dako dani loje janme janme prabhute. Deve gyan hriday prokasito. Deve gyan hriday prokasito. Prema bhakti ja hoite avidya vinasha jate. Prema bhakti ja hoite avidya vinasha jate. Vede ja jahara charito. Vede ja jahara charito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Lokana Lokera Jivana. Lokana Lokera Jivana. Aha Prabhu Koro Doya Deho More Padachaya. Ah Prabhu Koro Doya Deho More Padachaya. Ebe Jas Kushukri Mumana. Ebe Jas Kushukri Mumana. Prabhupada Prati Champamana. Ila Patita Prati Champamana. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Sina Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nithai Gora Haribo, 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 Nithai Gora Haribo. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sanyavadi Vasyachadi Shatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashari Go Bhaktavinda. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga. Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga. Nithai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nithai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga. Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga. Nithai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nithai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hari. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hari. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hari. Nithai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nithai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. O Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatme. 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 Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Baba to me. Oh Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Baba to me. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Baba to me. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Baba to me. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath Swami, Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath Swami, Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra, Nitai Gora Chandra, Gora Hari. Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra, Nitai Gora Chandra, Gora Hari. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Gora Premanande, Jaya Vishnupad Paramhansa Privajakachaja Stotra Satasishimad Sapine Krisi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Privajakachaja Stotra Satasishimad Sapine Krisi Srila Bhakti Vedanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Ananda Gudi Vaishnavin Ki Namacharya Brahmacharya Haridas Thakur Ki ISKCON founder Charya Shri Prabhupada Ki Prem Sikho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Dvaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mathura Dham Ki Navadvip Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jagannath Swami Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glory to the Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladayine Hiranyakashipu Vaksha Silatankala Kalayi Namaste Narasimhaya Praladayine Hiranyakashipu Vaksha Shilatankala Kalayi Ito Nistingo Paraso Nistingo Ito Nistingo Paraso Nistingo Yato yato yamitato Nistinga Bahi Nistingo Hidaye Nistingo Bahi Nistingo Hidaye Nistingo Narasimhavadim Sharanam Papaji Narasimhavadim Sharanam Papaji Avakara Kamaravare Naka Adbhuta Singha Lalita Hiranyakashipu Dalubringa Keshavarita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tavakala Kamaravare Laka Adbhuta Sinya Alita Iranya Kashipu Anubringa Keshavarita Harari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Nachingade, 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 Jaya Nachingade. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaurachandra ki. Want to welcome the devotees to our Sunday program. We thank you for being here. We have two special guests, Dylan and Kimberly. They just moved to Harrisburg 6 months ago, you said, right? We're very happy that you're here, and we're happy that you have found us, and we're happy that we can serve you. So thank you for coming, and we'll definitely connect more after the program. Thank you so much. Anyone else here first time, just in case I don't miss anyone? Okay. A couple of announcements. We have next Sunday is Father's Day, and the fathers are not very happy. That is pathetically sad. Now, at least the women can cheer for the fathers, right? Thank you. Okay, so we will definitely have a very nice feast next Sunday, I promise you that. Most of the feast will be cooked by the youth, actually, believe it or not. So this is a tradition, I guess, that we have where we have the fathers cook for the mothers for Mother's Day, and then we have the youth cook for the fathers on Father's Day. The reason being is I think the fathers have had enough of the wives cooking. Thank you. She agreed with me, Mona Mataji, right? So I'm sure they want to taste to see how well the kids cook, you know? So it'll be a nice way for the youth to cook for their fathers. So please do come out next Sunday for our Father's Day program. We have a very nice lecture, and it's the glories of Lord Rishabhadev, who is none other than Lord Krishna himself, setting the example of what fathers should be. What is the duty of a father in Krishna consciousness? So please do come out next Sunday. It's a wonderful class. And again, like I said, it'll be a wonderful feast because we have the youth cooking. And I can promise you one thing, we have very good cooks in the youth group. I can proudly say that our youth can cook. So that's right, Tungavidya, they can cook. So I promise you it's going to be a feast that you will never forget. So please come on next Sunday. The following Sunday, June 25th, is Snana Yatra. And that's when it means we are getting pretty close to Rath Yatra. Pretty close. And that June 25th is when we actually bathe Lord Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra and put them to sleep for 2 weeks, and where they actually they fall sick. So they'll come out on the day of Rath Yatra. So please do come out. We have a full abhishek for them on June 25th, along with the glories of Snana Yatra. There'll be kirtan, and there'll be, of course, Jagannath Snana Yatra Prasadam. And one of the preps, which we will not reveal right now, but one of the preps was actually, is always cooked in Jagannath Puri. So there will be one of the preps will be in the menu on that Snana Yatra feast. So please do come out. I can see some men thinking, aha, what is that? Well, you got to come to find out on Snana Yatra. So come out on June 25th. Now the following 2 weeks after that is 3 weeks away, literally around the corner. We have quite a bit of catching up to do and a lot of preparation. It's always the preparing that takes a lot of work. You know, we got to check this out, check that out, check this out, check that out. So we really have to speed up our planning process. And if you would like to be engaged in any service, please do come see me. If you don't have a service, believe me, we have service lined up, right there, Krishna? We have service lined up. You can see myself or Hare Krishna Prabhu, and we'll be happy to share with you any way that you can serve on Rath Yatra. And like I said, it is happening on City Island. If we do have invitation cards, we can give you a stack if you need to share with your friends, families, neighbors, co-workers to come out. It's going to be on City Island right behind the F&B Stadium. It starts at 11 o'clock till 5 p.m. We get about 1,000 people, and we serve out a little over 1,000 plates of prasadam. So please do join in the ecstasy of pulling the Lord. We heard a very nice lecture of how to take the Lord into our hearts, how to prepare the Lord into our heart. In fact, how to prepare the temple of the heart to welcome the Lord. So please do join us on July, just a test to see if we're all awake. July, what time? 11. Where? City Island is a big place. Give me a spot. Good one. Behind the stadium. Thank you. Gio's awake. Yes, behind the stadium. City Island is going to be anywhere in City Island. It's behind the F&B Stadium. Please do catch us over there. And without further delay, we again want to thank all of you for coming out. And we have a little crowd today because many devotees went for Rath Yatra, so half of them dead. Recuperating, lack of better words, so they're all trying to get their strength back. But nevertheless, it's always nice to see so many of you out here today. And we have a very special feast. I call it one of a kind. So thanks to, where's Arya? She's the one that planned the menu. So I'm happy that she did, because it's going to be an awesome feast. So please enjoy the feast today. And before, if I can ask Achut, you're the only young kid I see here, to say the prasadam prayers, please. Not kid. Actually, if just to let devotees know that I forgot to mention this last week, Suvrat and Achut both graduated from high school. And they are now heading off to college, so they can use that knowledge to serve Prabhupada's mission even further, right? So please, when you see Achut, you will see Suvrat soon, but when you see Achut, please offer him your blessings. Yes, Mother? Deep, okay, Deep. So when they both come next week, we'll bless them. But if you see Achut, please offer him your blessings, your best wishes, your congratulations, so that he can continue to be part of Srila Prabhupada's army. Haribol. You can say the prayers.
Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmane Vaishnave Shalpa Punyamatam Rajan विश्वासो न बजायते जो इंद्रिय ताहे काल विश्वासो न बजायते नारायण विद्या जाय ज्योतिता है काल जीव फले विषे सागरे तारा मते जीवते लोगो माये सुगरमति टाक चिकिना संसारे कृष्णा बोरो दयोमय गौरी बारो जीव जय स्वाप्रसाद लीलो पाय सेनामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमेदा कोश चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री कृष्ण महाप्रसाद की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, गौर प्रेमानंदे।